What tools actually work when it comes to us transforming our lives, changing our conscious state, living our best life, and attracting the things that we want to experience into our lives so that we actually get to experience them? Is there actually a tool that works? Well, it turns out there are quite a few, as you probably know from spending time here on YouTube. But what actually works? Well, I've got some good news for you, my friend, and I've also got some news that it might push you, it might challenge you a little bit. But if you're up for the challenge, I invite you to come with me right now as we dig into the soil of tools together. Welcome to you, my friend. My name is D. Grant Smith. I am the growth farmer for personal development through the lens of spirituality and storytelling. And I am going to do a little bit of metaphoric storytelling with you today. I do have a little bit of a challenge, and I'm just going to be upfront about that ahead of time because some of the things I'm going to be sharing are not just things that I am witnessing in other people, it's stuff that I have witnessed within myself. Here's something just to be very, very blunt and honest with you guys. I am in no way at any point ever speaking from some sort of mountaintop as the guy who has it all figured out. I don't. I'm in the trenches with you, and maybe I'm a step or two ahead of where you might be, but I'm down in the trenches with you. I know exactly what it feels like to have big desires, to have big dreams, to have things that have been burning inside of you for as long as you can remember, and you are doing everything that you know how to do and continuing to learn more stuff to transform yourself in this journey that you're on in becoming the best version of you. And sometimes when we are growing within us, we become very aware of things that have been inside of us for a long time that are unhealthy, decayed parts of branches inside of our inner garden, or weeds and thorns where we're like, gosh, just trying to get in there and dig that out is going to hurt. And it does. But all of this is a process. And what I share with you in all of my videos and in what I share with my community in the growth farming community of membership and everything that I've got available there, from teaching tools and courses and all the stories, everything, they're all tools, they're all resources. And yes, they do transform your life. This is a journey of transformation. It's not about getting to a destination where we have suddenly transformed and we have everything that we want and there's nothing else to do or there's nothing else to desire. There's always going to be challenges that come up along the way. The divine within us is constantly evolving us into better and better and better versions. So the subject I invited you to come in and have a conversation with me about today is about what tools actually work. Now, I share with you some tools here on this channel, and I go into even greater detail and give a much more expansive perspective and application and show you how to practice inside the courses that I have at growthfarming.com. These are what have worked in my life to transform me from being an incredibly insecure, incredibly self-defeatist person for a very, very long time, struggling with immense codependency, seeking validation, seeking acceptance, seeking love from other people because I didn't know how to give it to myself. I didn't even know what that was. So much of what I do with growth farming and with teaching growth farming is about how to practice self-love. But for me, self-love isn't just about giving yourself love, it is about becoming love. And yes, there are powerful tools that I have used and continue to use that make this work. But here's what I want to challenge you with. Stop seeking more and more and more tools. Find tools that work for you and stick with them. Be committed to them and be disciplined to use them over and over and over again every single day without fail. The biggest tool you can use is actually a component of any tool that you choose to use, and that is faith. Faith is, as Neville says, unwavering loyalty to the unseen reality within. Now, I can admit that I have had wavered loyalty. at different points in my life. And if I'm super honest, last year at this time, I was confronted with how wavering I had been in my loyalty. And the wavering was the reason why I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. Because I, and maybe this is true for you as well, spend a lot of time chasing after and searching for the magical tool or the magical ticket that would bring me exactly what I wanted by doing it just one time. Well, I don't know if you've ever played an instrument, but have you ever sat down to play guitar, learned how to play the G chord, got your fingers all in the right places, and then you strum it and it doesn't exactly sound right because you're not pressing down all the way on the strings? Your fingers aren't conditioned yet to be able to do that. How many times do you have to press your fingers into those hard strings, especially the lower ones that are thin, and really get into your pinky and your ring finger? How many times do you have to press down on those strings and condition your hands and condition your fingers to be able to handle playing a guitar? Quite a bit. And that's just learning to play chords. I never really made it to a point where I was playing lead guitar all that much in any of the bands that I ever played in. But it took me a long time of playing the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again until I could get any good at just being able to play the notes, them ring true, and stay in rhythm. It took a lot of practice. The same thing is true in whatever tool it is that we are using to bring more light, bring more love, and bring more of the God presence, God force inside of us to life. Trying something one time, or for maybe even a week or two, and not getting the results that we want, doesn't mean that the tool doesn't work. It means that we haven't fully committed to the process. I'm instantly reminded of this show that I used to watch with my family back in the 90s. Here's where the storytelling and metaphor part comes in, aside from the guitar reference. Remember the show Home Improvement with Tim Allen? I think it was the show that made him famous, aside from what his comedy was doing. But on that show, Tim played a guy named Tim who had a TV show called Tool Time. And the whole point of the show was him using tools and doing a bunch of home improvement construction projects. Now, he had a partner on the show, a guy named Al. Al actually knew how to do construction work, actually knew how to do contracting work. He was an actual tool man. Tim, on the other hand, liked to talk the talk, and he was always interested in more power. He'd make that little sound all the time. Now, when Tim actually had to build something or work on something, he was the most inept person. He had no idea what he was doing because he was interested in collecting tools and expanding the power on it without actually knowing how it worked. Al, on the other hand, actually knew what he was doing. And if you looked at Al's tool belt, you notice that he always had the same tools. Tim's tool belt always changed. So this is something that I am challenging myself with and coming into a bit of conviction about, which is to stop chasing after the next tool to manifest more money, manifest more success, manifest this, that, or the other. Because it's not about the tools. It's about our commitment to them. And it's about our unwavering faith to the God force within us. Now, one tool that I've used, and I continue to use, is affirmations. But here's what I've discovered about affirmations. I learned this from rereading Wishes Fulfilled by Wayne Dyer. And he quotes Neville a lot in that book. But so much of the way that we create reality through our consciousness is, yes, about the power of our words, and our words are powerful. But our words have to match and line up with our feelings. So what does it feel like when we are making affirmations? What does it feel like in our body? And to harmonize ourselves with that feeling, paired with the affirmation, is to have the faith that it is already real inside of us because we are feeling it to be true. I now understand that this is what Neville meant when he said, get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It's not necessarily about an emotional state, although it can be, but what does it feel like when you imagine yourself to be the successful, vibrant, powerful, in love, in your dream relationship, having manifested all the things that you desire, or even just one? What does that feel like? Feel it in your body. This is unwavering faith. And you can use whatever tool you want for that. If that's journaling, awesome. If that's meditation, awesome. If that is affirmations, awesome. If it's scripting, awesome. If it's SATs, awesome. If it's whatever it is, that's a tool to help you get into the feeling of the wish fulfilled so that you can foster and practice regularly so that I'll join in this with you because like I said, I'm in the trenches with you. There are things that I am creating in my life. There are things that I have not seen with my eyes yet. With these eyes, I've seen them in the eyes of my mind and in the eyes of my heart. And as every great teacher says, consciousness creates reality. It's true on the inside of me. That's where it matters most because what's on the inside is what gets reflected on the outside. So for any tool to work, we have to solidify that on the inside of us. My encouragement and my challenge to you, my friend, today is to recognize whatever tool or tools work best for you to get into that feeling state, to get into that place where imagining your desire to be a present fact is already done. Commit to mastering that tool. Don't jump around. Don't become a collector of hammers and drills. Pick one. Pick one hammer, pick one drill. Those are your tools. Use them over and over and over and over and over again until you become a master at it. This is how we rewrite the story of our lives. This is how we rewrite our self-concept and how we live as the best version of us because we are practicing feeling the God force, feeling the love within us over and over and over again every day. And the more we feel it, that becomes our experience. And that is who we become. That is who we are right now. Now, I've got something else I want to ask of you, aside from taking this challenge of getting rid of all of the tool seeking and getting into the commitment stage. If this resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. And comment that you're in on this with me. I love joining forces and joining energy with you as somebody who has connected with me here on this channel. Now, I do have an invitation for you, and that is to the Transformational Leadership Workshop. It's a live training that I'm going to be hosting on Friday, July 21st at noon Central Time. This workshop is for leaders in particular. If you are a teacher, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business leader of any kind, or if you work one-on-one in managing people. Also, interestingly enough, if you're a parent, because all of these types of leadership roles are people who work directly with others, and your influence in their life transforms who they are. I'm interested in you becoming the best version of you and showing you how to transform your self-concept to transform your leadership. We're going to dig deep into a lot of the things that you hear me talk about here on this channel on a regular basis. We're going to go several layers deeper than what you get on this channel. So the invitation for you is to join. Once again, it's coming up in a little over a week. There are a limited number of seats available, and this will sell out. So go ahead and get your spot right now. I will see you live in that training. It will give you an opportunity for us to have some one-to-one interaction as well. And I've got a whole bunch of bonus resources that I'm going to include in that ticket price so you get the most bang for your buck. Or even putting it into the reference point I made a little bit ago, you get more power. I'll put a link for the training workshop down in the description below. I appreciate you, I love you, and I will see you again very soon.